Hello, everyone, and welcome to a More Strategic Life live kickoff. I am so excited to get started, and I'm so glad if you're able to join me. But we are going to start off strong. So, welcome to 2022. Happy New Year, and I hope everyone has had safe travels, safe intro into the new year. We are all ready to thrive. So, before we dive in, I at least want to give you a little bit of background about what this is. So I originally started this as a YouTube video or YouTube channel actually, and it's called Let's Talk About It. And that was a space where everyone can realize that the problems they have, they aren't alone. It's mostly for the Gen Z generation around my age. So we know other people are out there having those conversations, and even people who are older have chimed in and realized that they felt the same way. So, on that note, let's dive right into this course. Very excited to share with you. So, what we'll talk about is who are you working for? What are you working for? Where are your efforts getting you? And what are you doing today that is progressing you towards your goals? Now, all of these questions are going to be answered by the end of this course. And this is a course and a challenge. So every day we will have one thing that we'll do to better our lives. So on that note, let's move on to the next one. A life strategy will help you answer all of those questions that we just went through. So everything you might be wondering, you're going to have your life plan so you can have a powerful tool ahead of you. And of course, like most good stories, the best place to start is the beginning. So if you're interested in leading a more strategic life, you need to grasp the very basics. So the first basic we'll touch on is, what is a strategy? So at the basic definition, a strategy is a plan to achieve something. But for the future meaning of how to make this plan work, you need to know that it's a plan to create with the knowledge of knowing there will be obstacles in the way of your end goal. Now, obstacles, they appear, they happen. Sometimes you really can't help it and you just have to keep pushing forward. But with a life strategy, you can know those obstacles may happen and prepare for it ahead of time. Now, I keep saying life strategy. Michaela, what is a life strategy? A life strategy is a plan you plot to achieve the life you want while creating powerful conditions that will help you overcome any obstacle that may come. And a life strategy can provide you with guidance in whatever step you take. It can provide motivation to keep going every day. You'll have preparation for the unexpected, and it'll give you the ability to adjust to the changes being made. And it's also a chance for reflection to analyze what did and didn't work so you can continue to move forward and make adjustments as you need to. Now, I think it's important that we touch on what life can look like if we don't have strategy. Some of you might be going through that right now where you don't have a strategy, and these are some key things that you might be facing at this moment. So a life strategy can lead you to directing your energy in the wrong places. Energy. You'll hear me say that a million times. Energy is so important because if you aren't putting your energy in the right places or towards the right thing, you're going to feel down about it. You won't have that same motivation for anything that you're doing when it comes to that. So if you don't have a plan and goals, how do you know where to direct all the work that you're doing? And now while all that energy is being directed elsewhere, if you just took a little bit of that energy, put it in something that you've been putting off or changed your mind about or said you couldn't do it, you can put it in that and wow, you might have just changed your life completely into something brand new. Another problem some people go through is they're blindsided by obstacles when they come up. So if you aren't actively planning on dealing with obstacles in life, you won't be prepared when it happens. Now, with a little bit of foresight, something that could have been avoided now has set you back a ton of paces, which is never fun for anyone. The next big one is you are living for other people, but not yourself. I cannot stress that enough. That happens so often where we're not doing things for us. And I think we need to put more emphasis on us nowadays. A lot of people could be doing something that they don't even enjoy, but they're trying to make others around them happy. Others may be trying to live their life that they wanted to live through you, but it's not the life you are choosing. So you have to remember that at the end of the day, it is your life and you have to take control of it if you want to see a change. Now, the last, but certainly not least point is you may not know what you want, and guess what? That is completely okay. This is where you sit down, you grab that journal, and in your words, put down what you want in life. There's some simple steps that we'll get into to give you some ideas of where you can start. But before we get there, I want you to know what your life can include if you do have strategy in place. So here's a bit of insight on what your life can be if you have strategy. Close your eyes, picture it, imagine it, claim it. This is what you will have. So a life with strategy can mean that you won't lose focus on what's important. So often we work towards something and then we see something else and we're immediately distracted and we go to that other thing. And we leave those goals and those tasks that were undone behind us when we need to focus on the big picture. And in this case, the big picture is our life. Now, we talked about obstacles before and how we're unprepared for it. It messes things up. But when you add a little bit of thought into possible outcomes, you'll have the skills to navigate it to the best of your abilities. Now, no one's saying that you'll be able to predict the future, know exactly what's going to happen, but it's pretty close that you can use those skills that you learned to cope with it, deal with it, go about the steps that you need to take to overcome it. Now, the next thing is change. Change makes people uncomfortable. I'm telling you right now, I used to be someone who was so uncomfortable with change, and now I've moved to like 3 different states. You start to get used to it if you just embrace it. So the first step is being able to embrace that change can happen. And once you accept that it's no longer a fear to have change, it'll turn into an opportunity that you can take advantage of. And you'll see so many things appear, so many outcomes, so many goals, so many opportunities that you didn't even think you had. Now, this last point is very important personally to me because it's something I remind myself every day when I wake up. And I cannot stress it enough. Live life on your terms. Say that in your head so many times. Live life on your terms. Now, what does that mean? It means everything you do is everything you do, it's towards your goals, not someone else's goals. It's for you. It's for you to achieve. It's for you to accomplish. It's not, I have to do it to help someone else's goals. It's for you. And you'll know who you're working for, why you're doing it. All those points we stated in the first slide or the second slide, you'll start to realize that if it does not fit my vision of a perfect life and what I want to achieve, what I see it being, why do it? Why should I put my energy where I don't think it's going to fit into my lifestyle? We have to start to put that energy into, okay, this is something that aligns with my goals. This is something that aligns with what I want to do. And you'll know you're on the right track and that feeling will be amazing. So all of that I just went over, we are going to touch on. That's just an introduction on this course that we'll be going through every week. Every week will be something different. And on that, I want to get to this week's task. So yes, I am assigning a little bit of quick homework to do. But again, if you're doing this seriously. I know a lot of people go into a new year and they're like, oh, new year, new me. It's time to be that new year, new me, and take the proper steps. So now that we discussed all the basics, you know what a strategy is, you know what a life strategy is, you know what you look like with or without, I think we're ready to dive into that next step. So I mentioned how you can start your life plan with just a few steps. And the first step is to write out your overall vision. This means you should start to picture what your ideal life looks like. This is a spot where we're putting energy into things. We talked about that energy. This is something I want you to put your energy into. So you are going to grab your journal, something to log this. I personally prefer writing things down. It just feels more powerful when I do that. Some people feel better typing it. Whatever works for you, I want it to work for you, but I at least want you to do this because this is a topic we're going to cover next week. So some examples you can use to plan your ideal life is describing what your career will look like. Another thing is describing what your finances will look like. And not, I'm going to be a millionaire. Everyone wants to be a millionaire. You are more than welcome to put that down. But you have to define it a bit more. You could put down, I am going to bring X amount of money in each month. I will accomplish this much every time. Things like that. I'm going to save this much. Anything like that. Saving, purchasing, you can get it. Now I want you to touch on your health. Maybe you want to add a little bit more adventure. Then you can touch on family. You can touch on relationships. And when I say relationships, I don't just mean dating. I mean your relationship with your friends and your relationships with your family and even your social life. Maybe you want to get out more and learn how to put yourself out there. That can go into the social life. So with this, I say go through, take each section, write down a quick little note of how you see it. Maybe close your eyes, picture the entire thing, and go from there. So this week I will take a picture of how I laid mine out. I know some people need a visual of how to do it. Some people just like to do it their own way. Again, as I said, anything you're comfortable with, go for it. We just want to find a plan that works for you. And this is a space where you will be held accountable for everything that we do. So if you want to see an actual change, you got to start doing it. You just got to go for it. So I'm going to come back, see if there's any questions out there, and know that this is a place where we're going to grow. I went into 2022 knowing that I wanted things to be different. I need to focus more in. And I think this is the perfect plan for us to get together, have a space where it's us and we can have those honest conversations that need to be had. So I hope that helps. Again, I will post a picture of what I've done and go from there. So thank you so much for joining this kickoff. I'm super excited to get started and I can't wait to dive right in with all of you. I see a happy kickoff. Great way to start. Thank you so much. Very excited to get started. Can't wait to join you all, meet you all, and we will have those conversations honestly and open. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment anything. You can message me directly and I will help you out. Thanks for joining.